Why?
Oh my God.
To get them all riled up. So you just get them all riled up. They start charging you. You charge them.
They catch up to you. I guess they're on land.
Oh, they're a lot quicker than you think, dude. The sea lion, they're a lot quicker.
We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility?
Clink.
Clink. Where was your clink, Matt? I didn't hear it.
Oh, I didn't say it.
We invited someone on to have the clinks, and what do? We don't even get a clink out of our guest.
Crashed.
Matt.
Shit.
You ruined it.
We wanted
You
to
might
do
have-
something extra special with you today.
This is why I couldn't be a fucking actor, because I'd forget half my damn lines.
Well, but is that by choice?
No, I would just do my own thing, or
Why
just
wouldn't you do your job?
my memorization skills are shit, dude. I don't know how I made it through school, honestly. Somehow I did.
Well, we know because we told you literally maybe less than a minute to clink, and you didn't clink. We wanted to do something special because today's a special day. It is 1 year of wandering. The Wandering Ways podcast has been going on for a year. Matt, buddy, has been through a lot of it. I think this is his fifth or sixth time.
Matt
Everyone probably knows Matt intimately by now.
Yeah, I hope the Wandering Ways community has a great love for you, Matt, because we bring you on more than they want, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I think I'm curious about what they think about me because of the shit you guys say when I'm not here.
What do we say when you're not
That's
there?
the real fucking question.
What do we say when you're not there?
Oh, well, I know that my old shitty car got brought up at some point.
Never. Not once.
That thing was talked about all the time. No AC,
I mean, you were the only one driving it, so maybe you were the only one talking about it.
It got brought up by people. I know it's happened.
But anyways, yeah, so it's been a year. We've done a lot in this year. Matt Buddy's been on a lot with us, whether it's been just me and Matt, Zach and Matt, or the three of us all together. We have been going out. I mean, shoot, think about this. Matt had a Bigfoot running encounter this year, which is exciting news on the Bigfoot front.
That was my first one ever.
Well, I think you had that one too, where the hair on your neck stuck up a bit.
Well, I told Mark my ghost story, so you're referring to that.
I'm referring to the one you shared on the podcast.
Yeah, you told us
that
one where you were just driving and you noticed it.
Oh, I guess I did have two then.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
we saw Bigfoot this year. That's great.
But it was a different type of encounter.
Yeah, we didn't see Bigfoot. We just had a Bigfoot encounter.
Yeah.
Well, we saw some cool shit along the way.
Yeah, we did. We had some cool shit in nature along the way too.
Well, we did Glacier together, and Bobby came along with us.
That's right. You can't forget about Mr. Bobby.
Yeah, no, we went to Glacier. What did we end up doing? We did Avalanche Lake. That's right.
We did Avalanche Lake, and then just a random hike off Highway 2. We hit up Olympic National Park together, us three.
Facts.
Yeah. What else have we done together? We've done a lot of.
Well, we went to Yellowstone right after Glacier, the three of us, but we had more people then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys were together, and I was with our friend Yolo, and the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, great. It was a good year. A good year of wandering. We saw, I got how many new phone screensavers from all the pictures we took. I probably blew up Instagram. That's what people don't get with my Instagram is I design it for you to follow what you want to follow of me, right? Do you want to follow my Jeep? Do you want to follow my me personally? Do you want to follow the nature side, the Wandering Way side, or do you want to follow the art? And when I blow it up, I mean, it's because guys like you guys are watching everything. So you're seeing all the nature photos come out. I try and spice it up and do it different ones on each one. But it was a good year. It was an Instagram heavy year.
It was interesting with Glacier because it was a COVID year.
Yeah,
And
COVID threw a wrinkle in everything this year.
The restrictions of only seeing like less than half of the park
Olympic was that way too. We didn't go in any visitor centers. That one beach was closed. The reservations were closed.
Yeah.
It was an interesting year for sure. I mean, it was a good year to launch this. I know it's something that we've talked about, and Wandering Ways goes beyond Wandering Ways into Quartz Lake, and the OGs know that story. But essentially, Quartz Lake has been around 5 years, putting on nature shit, and here we are, doing more cool shit in nature, and a year later, our podcast still going strong, and we got followers, guys. You're out there, you're listening to us. We do appreciate you, each and every one of you. We know you're not Matt, but
yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. Like, I remember starting this thinking, like, okay, we'll probably have like 5 people, like the whole time, just listening. It was something just for kicks and giggles, really. It was it was our phone call, is essentially what it was. Basically every podcast episode we've ever had, that's basically a phone call between me and Zach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost spot on. So we decided to try and monetize it. Surprisingly, we have made some money.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I enjoy talking about nature. I mean, what I like is the debates me and you have, because we can get pretty stuck in our ways sometimes. And I know I'm leaving the Zoom call like, all right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Like, I'm done. I'm done with it. But then there's times where it's like, fuck, man, we got to talk episode and talk. We talk for another hour or two after the call. And what's shitty is like how many times we've talked about things in nature where it's like, man, if we would have just recorded that would have been the episode.
No, We're probably missing a good 10 episodes we could have had.
Shit, man. No, I just think about how you're talking about the arguments and stuff. Man, all 3 of us motherfuckers are stubborn as hell. But we are all 3 of us are stubborn in our own weird ways. If you really think about it, we all have something. We all have something, man.
We do. But that's what makes it interesting, That's what keeps everything on our toes, all that.
I think it's more of the OCDs, the different OCDs we have.
Oh, yeah.
How particular we have to have things. Some of my plans have to be particular, and if I do things out of order, it's just not right. I get it. I think I've seen it with our planning. So.
Oh, yeah. You guys have seen where I live. I have shit on lock, dude. I have a little place for everything. And then my little piles are organized in a weird way that I can tell if someone has been there because it'd been moved from its place.
I know. I live with you, Matt. I live with you. I know exactly what's going on.
Shit. How long did we actually live together?
Not long enough, I guess.
I think just 1 year.
It was the 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just the 1 year. It was the year Zach went back to Montana.
Okay.
2015, 16?
Yep.
Yeah, because we beat the Ducks.
No, we beat the Ducks in fall of 16.
Fall of 16.
Yeah.
No, we it was a good time.
It was.
We all lived with each other at different times. I haven't lived with Matt, and I'm okay with that.
You're missing out, man. Matt's
right back at you, Zach. I think we'd be
I don't think we'd get along living together well.
No, I don't think we would either, dude. I really don't. Zach would be blasting his music, and I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to chill over here.
You don't clean as enough as I like.
Yeah, I hate cleaning, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very I have to have things clean.
We've gone on some good smaller trips this year too, you know. I mean, Matt, you and I we've gone to the Gorge.
That's right.
We did that together. I know we got one that we're about to talk about here real soon, but I feel like we did something else too.
Well, we went to Top Golf. I don't know if you count that as a nature excursion.
No, but that was also with Zach.
Zach was there too.
I feel like we did do so. I don't know. I'm blanking on it, but I feel like
we went to Silver Falls out in Oregon.
Zach and I went to Silver Falls and the coast, and we took his cousin to the coast for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool, actually.
First time seeing the world's largest ocean for him?
No, he's seen it from Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, it was literally the shittiest weather day at the Oregon coast. It was like raining sideways and like
but that's also like typical.
Yeah, you guys just gave him the real coast experience.
That's true. That's true.
Speaking as a coastee, like what better way to know what the coast is like than like, did you give him clam chowder? Did you take him to clam chowder?
Yeah, we went to
Moe's, sideways rain. You know, you kind of hit the coast.
Found some seashells.
Yeah.
Walk on the beach.
Yeah.
Hit the shops.
That is definitely.
It was a day. Saw the sea lions in Newport.
Did you mess with them?
No, it's Newport. They're a little more protected there.
Oh yeah, they're a little harder to get. That's when you know it's a real coast experience, though. You go and mess with them. That's what we used to do growing up all the time.
What would you do?
You go and charge them.
Why?
Oh my god!
To get them all riled up. So you just get them all riled up. They start charging you. You charge them.
They catch up to you. I guess they're on land.
Oh, they're a lot quicker than you think, dude. A sea lion, they're a lot quicker than you think.
So they're just like fucking Jerome Bettises running around in the animal world.
I think we got to get Matt and you out there. I'll film.
I mean, I actually don't think you're supposed to mess with them, but
obviously
I mean, that was kind of our thing. We'd go to the docks and we'd just, because they lay on the docks, you just charge at and yell at them, and then they get all pissed and charge you.
They just give up?
No, we end up running away a lot farther. Dude, they'll mess you up.
Well, obviously, they're like twice your size.
Yeah, they'll mess you up pretty good. You know, you got to stay on your toes.
Yeah. We didn't do that when we were at the coast. We just enjoyed them from a nice view of the distance.
That was an average football practice for us. Works on agility.
Works on agility. I went to the Lewis and Clark National and State Parks there on Memorial Day weekend. That was on my own. But
yeah, no, that's always a trip. I mean,
that was cool.
I would ride my bike and go mushrooming, which I've talked about on the podcast, out that way.
Yeah, you told me some good spots over there.
Oh yeah, this is a great mushrooming area. Actually, I've gone foraging actually in that national park. Yeah, we found some lobster mushrooms. We found chanterelles. Yeah, you're allowed to forage for mushrooms. They'll have a sign, and they tell you like the times of year you're not supposed to forage and when you can. I've seen morels out there. I mean, I used to go running out there. Lewis and Clark National Park, that's a good one. Go see Fort Clatsop, you know.
Fort Clatsop's pretty cool. I mean, it fits along with Pompey's Pillar. I haven't gotten out there this last year, but it reminds me of all the great interviews we had over the last year too, including a bunch with Matt Buddy and the folks out there and the Lewis and Clark connection. And I think that's kind of a cool connection that me and you, Mark, have come across, is like the Lewis and Clark one, you being from Seaside, me being from Montana, and how the two, that trail, that journey, that experience of traveling west kind of correlates and exists with our journeys. And Matt too, you know, just being the native that hops along and enjoys the journey. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's funny because I grew up more south, which is along the Applegate Trail. And that trail, which, was people that split off from the Oregon Trail and they went to California. So, and a lot of my family's from California, so it just makes sense. They just followed it up north eventually.
Yeah.
Back up north.
Yeah, there's Lewis and Clark Trail, Applegate Trail, Oregon Trail. All I know about that is you want to make it far enough so you can start hunting. That was the point of the game, right?
Dude, I loved hunting on the Oregon Trail. I used to have the computer game, and
I did too.
You did?
I hated it when you had to ford a river and you just got fucked up. Like, well, you lost all your wagon and all your shit.
I was good about buying what I needed though, because it's like I would go far enough in the game to know like I could stock up, at Joe's Fur Trapper. That's
you guys know they're remaking it.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're remaking it, and I heard that it's going to be a little bit more friendly towards the Native Americans.
Well, it better be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the old one, it's like you just got attacked by a group of Shoshone Indians, like, and killed your whole family.
Yeah, no, I heard it's going to be. I heard there's like, I guess, a point where it's like from the native point of view. I think I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
I mean, but they are.
It might be more like trading going on, or like you meet a group and they're just like wanting to let you pass through, kind of thing. Because there is those historical accounts of like the attacks happening, but I think they were more rare than like it was blown more out of proportion.
The attacks were happening because the white man was manifesting west and saying, "This is mine now."
Oh,
and it's like, that's mine. We grew up here. Like,
right?
What the fuck? That's our trade route.
I do think there were like certain tribes that were more notorious for being like, like the Comanche, for example, and they're way down south, but like they were known as like very aggressive people, right? And other tribes were not.
That's also from what perspective of history, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Comanches dealt with the Spanish conquistadors, right? And the Spanish conquistadors were
they were brutal.
Very brutal people.
They were brutal.
And I mean, if you're going to be fighting brutal, you better fight brutal back, So I can imagine. And then the stories that were written, if they're going to chop your head off, well, we'll chop your head off, because there's a language barrier with war, especially back then, right? Yeah. You don't understand what they're saying. So a lot of the physical violence would communicate that. And then that's how it's documented. And it's, documented from the victor's standpoint, or the white man, or the Spanish conquistador standpoint. Fun facts.
Oh, for sure. Fun facts.
All I know is I'm gonna try and get that game. That game was the best, one of the best ones like ever made. So it's like
it was so fun.
Well, they have the card game.
No,
but it doesn't
I want the computer. I want the computer. Cards, that's too much work. I gotta flip it out of deck. I gotta flip it over. There's probably like other things I gotta remember. Like, no, when the game comes out, you betcha I'd be watching that one, coming back, playing it.
That was one of the few games we were allowed to play growing up.
Of course.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Because of Oregon?
What? Is
it because you're from Oregon?
No, it's because I was fucking homeschooled, man, and religion and all that stuff.
I mean, you got to
Christianity.
You had to go through the Great Salt Lake. It's Mormonism.
Oh God.
On the game.
Yeah, oh right. Hey, I met a girl recently who told me she was Mormon, and I was like, oh. This is awkward, because she actually seemed kind of cool, and I'm just like, that's a deal breaker. That's a deal breaker for me, man. Like, I don't believe in that shit.
You might get what they call Jack Mormons. You might
I should say, no offense to any Mormons out there. I know Mormon people, and they're good people, but
you're just the way you talk.
You know what isn't a deal breaker though? Lassen National Park.
Oh, good segue, Mark.
Lassen National Park, which is the main reason we have Matt on. because Matt and I were able to scamper on south of where I am and into Northern California to a park that honestly probably gets forgotten about by most.
Well, I think the park, because California has a lot of national parks.
Yeah.
And people talk about Joshua Tree. They talk about Death Valley. They talk about Yosemite, Sequoia, even to the point where the redwoods kind of get shit on because of how the units are broken up. And like the redwoods that are by San Francisco aren't as cool as the ones up north. And then you hear Lassen. What the fuck's that?
And then there's even one out towards like Monterey Bay too. It's like there's Pinnacles or something out there.
Oh yeah.
Newer.
Yeah. Wow.
And Lassen and then the Pinnacles, which I'm pretty sure that's not what it's called, but it shows you how forgotten it is because I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, no, Matt and I, we went to good old Northern California into the Lassen National Park, where we climbed the good old peak of Lassen, which honestly, pretty sweet hike.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear this because I didn't go.
It really was. Like I thought, Mark, what do you think for a first timer mountain climb? That'd probably be a good one. Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. I used to think the South Sister was a good starter mountain, but like I would, if you're like just want to experience what a mountain is, it's your first one and you're just scared shitless kind of it. Oh, Lassen, because it's 5 miles round trip, whereas South Sister's 6 miles one way, 12 round.
Yeah, right.
You know, and it's a doozy of a climb. I mean, you're doing 2,000 feet in 2.5 miles. You feel that.
That's kind of similar to what we did in Hawaii.
I think so. I don't remember. This one was steeper for sure. Because when the one we were in Hawaii, we had some flat parts. There were just those parts in Hawaii where it's like straight up, you gotta climb a rope. So that probably really jumped, but you don't feel that the same you do with like when you're just constant up.
It's just constant grade.
Yeah, no, it is. There's not a single flat point.
It's just like kind of like switchbacks.
You may get kind of like some, but you're still going up the whole time until you get to the top.
Damn.
Even the trailhead at the beginning, it's like parking lot, boom, up.
Sounds fun though.
Oh, it is. It's worth it.
It was it was a good day. We could see Mount Shasta. There was some smoke in the general area.
Ton of smoke.
Yeah, and it was hanging like to the north and to the south of us. But we couldn't really smell it. It wasn't like influencing our view in that spot in a way. So
well, I got up on the not too long ago, and that was kind of how I was being up that high. You could see the fire smoke, and there was some nearby fires. But it's kind of cool actually how you see the smoke fill up the valleys when you're that high up.
Yeah,
it moves through them.
I mean, to give you an idea of kind of how thick it was, Mount Shasta, which is above 14,000 feet, we couldn't see. The only thing we could see was the top because it was just a thick band of fire smoke.
Yeah, just like clouds, like cloud coverage kind of thing.
Yeah. It looked classic clouds, but it's a darker and it sits more. It looks and sits like fog, but it's up high.
Well, the opacity is just a little bit different.
Yeah. But again, like Matt said, we didn't really get bothered.
Right.
I didn't notice any of it at all.
Well, that's nice. That's nice when you're able to do that because we're dumb humans and we start fires, and
yeah, I don't know how those started.
Probably human.
I don't know. Being out in that area, there's really not a lot of people. But that reflected in the park too.
Oh,
was it nice?
Yeah.
And with that you guys are talking about, I kind of wonder, Mark, I wonder if that's just a park because it's like so far out of the way from like I-5, from, it's really sits out there like in a very remote part of California. And
Well, a remote part of the country too, because you got to think
well,
like
yeah,
California, Eastern Oregon,
well,
Western
Southern
Nevada.
Oregon is not populated that much
Yeah,
either.
it's a very remote area.
Yeah. And that's, as a lot of people may know, this is the region many down there call the state of Jefferson, because it has like a reputation for that. And, but I just think, I wonder if the fire smoke in any way hindered visitors that day, or if or if this is a park that's just less visited than others.
Well,
I'm willing to bet it's kind of both. I bet it's less visited just in general because, again, of where it is. It's away from I-5, that kind of deal. And then because there is so much cloud smoke in the area, I bet some people that maybe would have gone see that and go like, it's not going to be worth going. Because I mean, like, a lot of that park is pretty high up.
Yeah.
We were sitting at like 10,000 on the top of the peak, but you're most of the time between 5 and 8,000 feet for that park.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it was nice. I think the peak hike is like the big ticket item of Lassen. Because I mean, they have like what looks like a brand new parking lot, and it's a pretty big parking lot. But I mean, we didn't have any trouble getting parking. We could have pulled through, in fact.
What else would you do there? I guess I'm curious. Does Lassen have to offer? If you're kind of saying this is the big ticket item.
Yeah, there's some cool meadows, like random meadows that are just really cool. And then Matt and I noticed on the map, there's a hike that kind of splits the difference of the park. It kind of where there's the road goes, you can literally leave a car at one end of it, drive, have another car there, and you can like just go do a through hike essentially to your other car. And I think you get through a real cool part. Like you go into, wasn't it called like Paradise Valley, Matt?
It was called Paradise Valley, and it went through this more forested area with meadows, and there are these like alpine lakes along that hike.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because you could see like where that hike would go from Lassen's Peak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, cool.
And it goes downhill, so it'd be a really cool sightseeing one. But yeah, really, like Mark was saying, the meadows were just like, they're all so lush and green and just beautiful everywhere there. There's all these areas.
I bet early spring or springtime would be nice with the wildflowers, because I was up in the Beartooth not too long ago, and the wildflowers are starting to be peak. If you look at my video of when I'm sitting on the kayak and the Beartooth Mountain in the background, you can kind of see the hills with the different colors of the wildflowers. It was pretty.
Oh, yeah, that sounds really nice. Yeah, I love a good wildflower.
Well, I mean, I'll have to definitely plan a trip with you to go to Lassen because you're down there. Because I want to do Lassen. You guys are talking it up. Sounds good. It sounds like it's a smaller park, so maybe a day or two is all that's really needed. Is what you're making it sound like?
Yeah, that's all you really need.
And we didn't go. We did from the peak south to the other visitor center from the south end. We didn't see any of that part. So
yeah, which
there's a section we didn't see.
Yeah, it looked like there was some lakes there. I think there's a couple other peaks you can climb.
Mm-hmm.
But outside that, it is a cool area because as you're driving through the park, there's just random giant boulders. And they're just throughout like the forest, and then there's a giant boulder. And that's from when the mountain blew.
See, that's kind of crazy because you come over to like the Stillwater area here in Montana, you get that same kind of boulder-esque feel with Yellowstone. And the big the way they were pushed by the mountains.
Yeah.
Well,
I get what you're saying, but this one's a little different because it's like
Oh
The
yeah.
rocks are like weirdly spread out, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of them.
Yeah, they were. It's almost like the separate occasions the mountain blew, just like random chunks. Like what was that one called? You said that was still steaming there.
Yeah, there's one along the road that that you can stop out, and it's a big rock.
Yeah.
Vince and I stopped at it when we did our trip, but it's called the Hot Rock, and that's because after the eruption, like a couple days later, I believe they went to the rock and it was still steaming, so they call it Hot Rock.
Wow. That'd be cool. I mean, yeah, you're hyping it up for me. What else is there to do in the area?
I mean, you got Mount Shasta, less than like maybe actually an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
And Shasta's got a ton of cool stuff in general. And then you could boogie on over to the Redwoods. That's like 4, maybe 5 hours.
Yeah, it's kind of looking at the map of it after I went, it sits like directly in between Redding and Reno, Nevada.
Okay.
It's like right in the middle. And what's really fascinating that I forgot about is Lassen is technically the last peak in the Cascade Range, because I thought it was more part of the Sierras, but there's actually a bit of a gap. And further east, the Sierras start near the Nevada border a little more. So it's kind of interesting how they designate that as the last Cascade Mountain peak.
Well, is the Sierra Nevadas are they volcanic? I don't think so.
I don't know if they are.
They're very rocky.
Yeah.
They're very like Zach, that pass in Montana by Butte with all the rocks.
Homestay
The
Pass.
Sierras have a very similar kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's a volcanic. Like the Cascades are all like true volcanoes, whereas like the Rockies is the plates.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Rockies are the tectonic plates coming together.
Yeah, and so I don't know if the Sierras are plates or if they're true volcanoes, and I want to lean towards plates.
Yeah, I do too, because of how they're formed and with the San Andreas Fault.
The San Andreas Fault is exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
So it makes sense why Lassen would be a volcano that erupted in the Cascades.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Wanderers, for checking us out. Make sure that you are hitting that like button, that subscribe button, leaving us a review on the iTunes, on the Spotify's, or wherever that you are checking out this podcast today. We really appreciate it. Any kind of feedback, we love it. Make sure to check out the YouTube so you can see our beautiful faces instead of just listening to those beautiful voices. But hit the like and subscribe button there, too, to see all of the fun Wandering Ways stuff.
Yeah, on the YouTube too. Make sure to check out those videos like Mark's amazing 30-day road trip where he lived out of the back of a Jeep. And if you want to commemorate it, go ahead and pick yourself up that Wandering Ways swag. In the Linktree bio, click the swag button. If you're just on YouTube or Google or some sort of thing, go teespring.com/wanderingways. You'll find us. You'll find socks. You'll find shirts. You'll find whatever you want to put our logo on, and you can have it for sure.
And maybe you only like one of the Wandering Ways team members here, and you want to check out maybe just me personally, because obviously I might be the better one. Check me out, Reverend Marcus, on the Instagram, on the Twitter. I got some fun stuff there.
Hey, and you might be into Jeeps. You could check out my Jeep, the Rougarou. You might be into adventures. Check out Zach of Wandering Ways. Who knows? You can find it all with us at Wandering Ways, the nature podcast.
Yeah, let's keep wandering on. Alrighty, we are at, I think, the best segment of it. I was torn, because it is the 1 year. I wasn't sure if we wanted to do like a couple different cool shits in nature. I have 2 lined up, but I wasn't sure if we wanted to do more than 2 today.
I mean, they love it. The fans love it,
I mean, again, arguably it's the best. So
Matt,
You know, it's classic. I think we've done it before where we've done a video and a picture. So this time, same thing. We're gonna start with the Pikachu because I think it's a great picture and it kind of brings a smile to my face.
all right, Matt, you know the drill.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's just a little lion cub like roaring, you know, snarling at the camera. I think it's just an adorable little picture.
It's a good shot. I don't think it's shot in Africa though. I think it's shot.
that's probably a wildlife safari near where I grew up.
Or a pet.
I mean, who cares, guys? It's a cute, adorable photo. You guys are picking like, oh, I didn't go to the savannah. God dang. Just enjoy the photo.
It is
a
a cute picture.
Look how cleaned up. Or is it like a cat that they beefed up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a house cat that they just have.
Yeah. I don't know, the ears. I like the ears. Cute ears.
I guess I'm never going to show you guys cute pictures anymore.
Dude, this guy.
Oh no, what is this?
So we've done something like this early on. We watched an iceberg kind of come out of the water. And we talked about the wave and how we wanted to see it next to a boat. Well, this time we've got the wave. It's not the same one, but
holy fuck.
Yeah.
These
guys are in a boat and they are hauling ass to get away from that wave.
Well, because that wave is designed for the big iceberg.
Oh, I mean, it's a tsunami is essentially what it is.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. I mean,
you're in the boat. What are you thinking?
Get the fuck out of there.
Right here?
Okay, yeah, Matt, this is you in the boat. You're kind of seeing that the iceberg is falling.
Well, honestly, I'd probably be doing about the same thing as this guy because I would not expect a wave, honestly.
Okay, now you're noticing the wave. What are you thinking?
Well, now I'm like, oh, fucking shit. Oh, fucking shit. Oh, look at that. It's going over the ice.
What sucks is he's dodging the ice field.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I kind of wish we knew how these guys turned out.
No, yeah, because there's pieces of ice in the water, too.
Obviously, the footage is good, so they probably are good.
That's a good point, you know?
Oh, man.
That's a good point. I never thought about getting the footage back because honestly, watching that video, I feel like those guys wouldn't have survived.
No. But I mean, you could ride a wave like that out. It just sucks.
Yeah. I mean, they just had a lot not going for them. One, they had a giant wave chasing them down. Two, they're like trying to do the world's hardest Mario Kart course on a boat.
When you were up in Alaska, what was the biggest wave you experienced?
Oh, nothing even near that.
Well, but like what?
I mean, we got some waves where you go way to the side and way to one side. You know, I don't know the footage. I just remember going like, why the hell are we picking fish? And I can't even stand up straight because I'm getting thrown around this deck because we're getting these huge wells.
Oh, yeah. Just where they like the boat dips down and goes up. Like, yeah, that stuff.
I mean, if you've watched Deadliest Catch and you see those giant waves they hit, that we hit similar waves. We don't hit as big, but our boat's not as big as theirs. So proportionately, they're the same.
Right.
Just we're all toned down.
You're good. You'll be good. You can take on a tsunami. People live tsunamis.
Were you a seasick guy, Mark? Did you get
I got land sick.
Oh,
when you did.
I got land sick. So what would happen is I'd be out on the boat so long that I got used to the rocking. And so when I got back to land, I'd still feel rocking, but I flat out would know I'm on flat land and I'm like, this is not supposed to happen. So I'd feel really off. for like a couple days, I like hang on in the shower. I'll take a shower and I'm like holding on because I'm afraid I'm gonna fall.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So I got land sick because I'd feel queasy sometimes because of it.
Well, it makes sense. You're used to probably just rocking, and then standing still. Your body's like, why aren't we rocking?
Yeah. No, I mean, my ears still think we're rocking. And so when we get back to land and you're not rocking anymore, your body's like, no, we're still rocking. And until it figures out that it's not rocking anymore. It didn't last long, a couple days at most.
Mhm.
And then I was completely fine. But I didn't get seasick out there.
Mhm.
Matt, you seem like the type that gets seasick.
I've never been on the ocean in a boat.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
Actually, well, I've been on a ferry up in the Puget Sound, but I don't know if that really counts.
We won't give it to you for this case. We won't, just because you're.
It's salt water.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
know.
the ocean though; it's the sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
it's
sound
not
is
as
great.
intense. Yeah.
I'll give you half a point.
Okay.
I'll give you half a point.
Although I will say, growing up, like when we would drive, the northern coast of California through the redwoods, there's some windy ass highways down there. Like
All of them are
some of the windiest roads I think in the States are in Northern California coast.
100%. Those
Right.
roads, they're the worst. Getting in and out of Humboldt is just a windy mess, regardless of the direction you go. Left, right, up, down, diagonal. Pick a way.
Right.
It's windy.
There's a road from this town called Leggett over to Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
It's like 20 miles of switchbacks. My
Yeah,
dad drove in a truck.
You know
And
how many
so-
times I've
What?
heard that story? You know how many times I've heard that story?
Oh, you've heard it before, haven't you?
Every
least-
time we go to the Chandler tree.
So only like once, because you've only gone once,
I know.
right?
Well, we have to take Zach on the road so he experiences that shit because it's something else. But
I've been there.
long story short, and the point of me bringing this up is we would go down there with my dad driving, hauling ass on that road. I would not get car sick, but my brothers would. So I'm just like logically thinking if I'm on the ocean, I might be okay. If I have that kind of stuff.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
We puked when I went. We went out of Depot Bay one time. We chartered a boat, fishing boat, and it was. I mean, we puked. I remember that we fished. Josh puked hella. My dad puked a little bit, but like, it wasn't bad.
The worst. I mean, I've puked on a boat, but it wasn't because I was seasick. It's because someone else was seasick. And I'm an empathetic puker. So if I see someone puke, I go, oh my gosh, I feel so bad.
It's just mental. That's all mental. You can fix that.
Well, what it is it has to do with like the noise and like the smell.
Yeah, the smell's the worst. The smell is the worst.
It's actually like a biological thing. Like there's a whole thing because, I mean, if you think about it, like why is it that people will puke when they see puke? But it's not like they'll shit when they see people shit.
But we'll sneeze sometimes when other people sneeze.
Yeah, right? Or yawn. So like there's these weird things, and it has to do with certain like movements and smells is what it has to do with.
Well, I think it's time to wander our way back to Lassen Volcanic.
Yes. Yeah, it's time to wander on back because while we were there, which is super cool, we saw a bear.
Yeah.
We had a little bear encounter. And I got to say, Lassen, seeing a bear in Lassen was a lot more enjoyable than seeing a bear in Yellowstone. And we didn't even see that bear very long. But the reason why it was more enjoyable, no bear jam. No bear jam.
You know it's the worst bear jam, and we've experienced them. The ones up in Glacier.
Yeah.
Because the people will still be looking for a bear, even though the bear's gone.
Damn. Yeah, dude. It was. We're just driving along, and there's like one car stopped in front of us, and Mark's like, "What are they looking at?" And I'm like, I don't know. And we drove a little bit. I'm like, oh, there's a bear. And it's right. And it was just this little baby bear hanging out by this dead tree, this dead log.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to Yellowstone and go to the spot where I always see bears marked as I see a bear.
No, you never see bears there. You know what was crazy about it though, Matt? Like where that bear was, literally just around the corner, there probably had to have been a good 50 people.
Really?
Oh,
50
I know.
people less than 100 yards from this bear that they could see. And they're
Zach,
just like, there's a really cool meadow. So I get
Yeah.
why they're into the meadow at that point. But like, they're not far from the bear.
dude, this is something I've noticed. Like people, they're not like, sometimes they're not aware of their full surroundings. It's like they're so focused on the one. It's like, take a look around. Like there might be something right around you too.
You don't realize a bear playfully batting at you can kill you.
Yeah.
The claws are that sharp. The
Hey.
force of that paw is that strong.
It can't be that bad. Khabib wrestled one as a kid.
Khabib is different.
Yeah, he is. But he's Russian.
Yeah.
He's Russian. But anyways, Matt, we're not going to do a full Wandering Ways review because we just really kind of don't have that time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the year. Give it to them. Give them the time. They can celebrate with us.
All right. Because it is the year, we can do it. I gotta find my my list here through all my notes of. Okay, here we go.
Matt, this is for you, buddy, because you experienced Lassen Volcanic. I did not. Mark experienced it, so you guys are gonna give that scale, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scale. 5 usually being the best or the most, 1 being the worst or the least. That's typically how we do it here on the Wandering Ways podcast review system, the WWR. The Reverend coming in hot with those quiz questions. You know what I mean?
Matt's actually been in on like a Wandering Ways review.
I know. Just hyping it up.
But
because we got that listener who's listening for the first time. And we want to say thank you.
First category in the Wandering Ways review, the WWR, is the awe factor. 5 being like, and 1 being like, could have just left it to a picture. What are you giving it there, Matt?
I would say on a 1 to 5, I would give it probably a 3 for just the overall awe factor, because if going into this visit, I was like, it's probably like a 2 for that. But like, just because like, I'm like, this actually has stuff to offer. This park has a uniqueness to offer. And so, yeah, I give it a 3.
I get that.
Fair.
I'm only giving it a 2, to be fair. Yeah, I know. I'm giving it a 2. There's nothing that gets me even remotely like ready to swept off my feet. It is very cool. The way the rocks are laid out, being at the peak, it's cool. Being at those mountain tops is always kind of like an awe, but it's not adding anything to like, it's probably the awe thing of the park. But nothing swept me off my feet about this park. So that's why I'm only giving it a 2.
Fair.
Going to the next category, the crowds. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. The more stars it is, so a 5-star, like no crowds at all, people didn't bother you type deal, and a 1-star being like LA traffic.
All right. So for this one, pretty kind of had this one figured out. I would give it a 4 for that, because I will say parks like the Redwoods, I think, maybe a little bit Olympic in there. I even like it's sort of like those ones really don't have crowds because the Redwoods have all those sections. Sometimes there's no people in sections of it, right? So that's why Lassen definitely I thought there would be a little more people than what there was. So I think a good solid 4. It's a good park generally if you want to get the experience, but you don't want the crazy crowds of a Yellowstone or Yosemite kind of thing.
100%. I'm actually giving it a 4 as well. Because I mean, there were people there, and I mean, the hike we went on was a very populated hike, but I never really felt like crowded. Going up and down, being at the top, I never felt crowded at all. So even though there was actually a decent number, and there's really just like one spot that has a decent amount of people, even the visitor center we went to was not crowded. So if like, honestly, I think that area, if you're trying to beat crowds, enjoy nature, just that Lassen Shasta area is probably a good chance if you just want to get away from people.
Yep.
Next kind of category on the WWR. Chance seeing wildlife. 5 being you're basically at the zoo. 1 being there's just nothing living, the moon.
I would give that a 3 because I going in there, I'm like, okay, this is a nature area, this is a wilderness area, but I was thinking, well, the rocks and the peak, and it's Lassen Volcanic National Park, right? So the volcanic stuff, the rocks is more of a thing. But Mark saw a deer up toward the top of the peak, and then we saw the bear. And so honestly, deer are everywhere, but just seeing the bear alone was like, okay, there is some wildlife here, and we're seeing them. So it's right in the middle for me. I'm giving it a 3.
I'm right along with you. I mean, I don't think people are going to this park for wildlife. You're going for the volcano. But that being said, being there, you have a decent shot at seeing something because there's just not a lot of people around. I mean, shoot, we saw a bear.
We saw the butterflies up on the peak.
Yeah, the butterflies on the peak were really cool, even though they didn't sit still, so I couldn't get a picture. I tried. I was chasing butterflies up there.
Is there active lava, or when was the last time there was active lava there at all, or if any at all?
I actually think it's technically active. From what I read, out of the Cascades, they're all technically somewhat active.
Yeah.
But there's 2 that have kind of a lava dome that is more active than the others, and that's St. Helens, and then I'm told Lassen. Now, when we were up there, we thought we saw steam when we were up there, but we didn't. Maybe we didn't look. We didn't look well enough to see any kind of lava dome.
But I don't think you'd have it as much, I guess, in the Cascades as you would like Hawaii volcanoes or even Iceland for that matter.
Yeah, it's an older mountain.
Yeah,
different type of. It's more ash.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's true.
Yeah. No, like Mark was saying, on the east, I think on the east side when we were walking up, we saw like some steam, and then toward the top, we're like, there is a sulfuric smell.
Oh yeah.
And we were smelling, and there were some little spots up there past the butterflies we saw that looked like little crater things or something like.
Oh, the lava domes.
Lava dome, like a little bit had that going on, but we didn't like go over by that edge or look at that really. But
we saw some of those at Mauna Kea, the lava cones or domes.
Okay.
They're kind of formed after the eruption.
Oh yeah. No. There were those, but actually, like at the peak, there were some kind of like areas. Is what he was talking about.
Yep.
There are a ton of those domes within the Cascades.
Oh yeah.
Next category on the WWR Wandering Ways review is the views. What did you think of the views? 5 being picturesque, Kodak moment, amazing. You're going to tell anybody about it. 1 being, could have just left it to like a little Polaroid picture.
Oh man, this one's actually a little bit hard to answer. for a couple reasons, because you come to the park doesn't mean necessarily you're going to hike the mountain we did, right? And so you get the views of the meadows, you get views of, along the road through the park. We did hike the mountain, but there's some smoke. And so on a clear day, you probably could see a lot more, right? So, I mean, for me, it's really hard to say, but I bet it's probably an awesome view on a less smoky day, especially at the mountain. But I'm just going to give it a 3 for right now, right in the middle, because there's just a lot of, it's hard to answer that one.
I feel it.
Factors.
I feel it. It's a 4 for me. Mountain views are always amazing, especially the Cascades, because it's such a wide, or not wide, but spread out range. So it's unique being just in the Cascades, where it is kind of a spread out mountain range. But you had great views of lakes and meadows from the top. Being at the actual lakes and meadows when we were driving through, they're gorgeous lakes and gorgeous meadows, as we've said. So there is a lot of beauty to this park. So that's why I'm giving the views kind of a 4. It is pretty treey, so it's not like their views aren't like all the time banging. So that's why it's getting only a 4 for me.
That's fair.
Next one. I mean, we only did one of them there while we were in the park, but I guess we're going to rate it. What'd you think of the hike? 5 being just a stellar hike. Can't wait to do it again. 1 being worst day of my life. I was just puking the whole way down type of deal.
I didn't give our hike a 1 though when I was puking the whole way down.
No, you didn't.
I would give Mark and I's hike a 4, and it was a solid hike. I mean, distance wise, it's not super long. It's probably a more medium, moderate. 5 miles is probably in that middle range, and it's just a lot of uphill. So I mean, Mark saw me about in the middle somewhere. I was getting a little lightheaded. I think I didn't drink enough water, and maybe a little altitude coming up, kind of thing, getting used to. So I was fine after that.
Hydrate or dihydrate, people.
Hydrate or dihydrate, man. So, but I got over it, waited a few minutes, and we took our stops on the way up, and it was enjoyable. I liked it.
Good.
The people along the way were okay too. There were some interesting ones.
Oh yeah. For me, the hike, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. It's a great hike. I think if you want to experience a mountain, if you've never done it before, that's the one to go and try. It's a good 5 miler, so it's not long. It's just 2.5 up and 2.5 down. There is no flat part in it. So, it is a little bit harder. Personally, I just like to get out and go long distance. So that's why it's not getting that 5 out of 5, because I just want the distance out of it. That's just a personal thing. I like having a little bit more distance. The elevation game was solid, though. I highly recommend it to anybody. If you're going to Lassen, go to the peak if you can. But 4 out of 5 for me on hike.
Is that a 4 out of 5? Because you're next time I'm there, I'm going to do a different one.
Well, yes, I do want to do a different one, but in reality, depending on how long I'm in that area, I could squeeze that one in real quick, and I'd be okay with that.
Nice.
It took us 1 hour, 2.5, almost 3 hours just to do the hike. That was 3 hours of moving time. So, we hung out at the top probably for close to a good hour. So, that's an afternoon or a morning or an evening, depending on what you want to do. So I would squeeze it in if no problem. Next category is accessibility. Matt, what'd you think of the accessibility? Is it accessible to everyone? That's our 5. Or 1, you better be Bear Grylls.
I think, I mean, for the most part, I think the park was fairly accessible. Again, unless it's like a hiking trail. I mean, the roads in there were good. They had, the parking areas. There were some meadows that, they only had so much room, but I don't know. I think generally accessibility, I don't know, 3.5, somewhere in there. It generally was accessible for most people. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. You have to, the minimum requirement is you just have to be able to hike. That's the minimum. There's really only is hiking to do there. I mean, you can go on the water, have a lake day, I guess. But, like even the hike we did, there was a wide range of skill in this hike.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's a one that if you wanted to do it, you could take it slow and just take your time, enjoy the day, and get up. Go a couple, take a break. Go a couple, take a break. Go one, take a break type deal. So the accessibility is there, but most of the hike is just, or most of the park is just hiking. So you have to be able to hike really, meet that requirement, and then you can do pretty much everything in the park. Next category. This is a returning favorite, a fan favorite, probably the best category of the Wandering Ways review. But what is the Bigfoot possibility? 5 being super solid chance of seeing them, 1 being not at all.
Man, for this park, well, I'm thinking a little bit to answer this question. The Northern California area, it's more toward the coast that's known for, the redwoods and the sightings in that area. But I feel like there's been sightings in the Shasta Cascade region as well, because there is enough forest there. I was surprised how forested it was in that area, honestly. I thought it was going to be more of the pines kind of scattered, but once we got up toward Lassen, I was like, dang, there's like trees here,
Yeah.
And I think it's very squatchy area, honestly. You got the lakes, you got deer. I'm gonna rate it a 3 out of 5 chances of seeing Sasquatch.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Man, I thought you were going to go higher the way you were talking.
You almost made it sound like no doubt about it.
No, if it was closer toward the redwoods, I'd give it a 4 or even a 5.
Really? See,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to say 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of trees, a lot of opportunity to hide. Not a lot of people in that area, and then this is probably just a little bit of a bias thing, but I read like a book when I was in middle school about like seeing Sasquatch near Mount St. Helens. It was like a little Sasquatch community book near St. Helens. That's a volcano. Lassen's a volcano. Maybe there's a little community of these Bigfoot out there. So that's why I'm going 5 out of 5, because I really feel Bigfoot could be out there.
Yeah.
Not the fact that sightings have been also recorded there.
No. our boy Big can be anywhere.
On vacation right now.
No, that's a solid rating.
All right, last one, probably the most important, the one everyone's been sticking around for. Overall, what'd you think of the park?
Oh man, overall, these ones are tough, but again, kind of more toward the first question or two, I was going in thinking it was like a 2, but I think I would rate it like a 3 out of 5. Generally.
Overall?
Yeah, overall, a good 3 out of 5.
There's other parks you'd see before it, but you'd probably come back, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a park like Mark said a bit about the hiking. Like there just seems like some pretty awesome hiking opportunities there. And I want to check out all those meadows and some of those areas off the main road and maybe the other end of the park where we didn't go. So there's some curiosity there still that will bring me back.
That's solid. Honestly, I'm going 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
This is a sneaky park. Not a lot of people know about it, for one, and then two, when you hear about it, it's not really get you that excited to go when you hear about it, when you put it on paper. But when you go, it's sneaky. This trip we had was a hell of an enjoyable time. Makes me want to go back, check out those other hikes. This is a sneaky little park, and people need to give it the respect it deserves. And go and check it out for yourselves, because I really don't think you'll be disappointed.
I think it's like an underrated professional athlete. Like they're disrespected, but they surprise you every time.
Damian Lillard.
Perfect example.
You know what that means? Time for another commercial break where we get to tell you to like, subscribe, and review our podcast. Whether you're getting that podcast on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, WhatsApp, whatever podcast app you use, you can make it happen.
And don't forget, this is also the time to let you guys know that you can pick up that Wandering Ways swag at the Teespring. Make sure to check it out. The link is in the bio down below or in the episode description. It's even in the show description too, if you can't find it in the episode. But you can go on there. You can get your sweatshirts. You can get your shirts. You can get long sleeves, short sleeves. You can even get some socks. It looks pretty cool. Highly recommend. You will be impressing everybody at your next bonfire with some Wandering Ways swag.
And if that's not enough, we're going to tell you to follow us individually on our social medias. You could check me out at the Ruguru or Zach of Wandering Ways. Check out the adventure firsthand where there might not be any ads.
Exactly. And who doesn't like some good free pub? I need the followers to go up. So I'm going to throw out Reverend Marcus. Check me out on the Twitter, on the Instagram. I do some cool stuff. So please give me the follow. All right.
We also do not cool stuff.
Yeah. But anyways, let's keep wandering on. Well, it is the year anniversary. And I thought what we could do is come back to an old cool shit in nature, one that we've done. Now, I know we haven't done cool shit in nature all the whole year, but it is a fan favorite. And we're going to go with the one that you, the Wanderers, said you liked the most. And so that's what makes this next cool shit in nature is gonna send us into the final words. And this time I'm gonna be the guy that does cool shit then final words. A little special, because it is the year. But anyways, this is everyone's favorite cool shit in nature this year. Thank you everyone for mentioning it. Matt, I don't know if you've seen this one.
I have not.
It's a nice, calming, relaxing one.
Brand new. A fly through German black forest.
Yeah.
It looks like Oregon, honestly.
I think if there's one thing I'm learning about how this is the favorite one, it's that I should probably stop doing all the animal fights.
Yeah, that shit's been frowned upon since Michael Vick, so.
It wasn't on necessarily that level, Matt. But
okay.
But anyways, yeah, we brought back that classic soothing drone footage through that German black forest. It is a nice calming one. I could see why people liked it.
Yeah, it's peaceful. It's hot. It's August right now. You probably want some nice snow because winter's right around the corner, and that'll be fun. We're excited for a whole nother year of adventures. I know me and Matt.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hold your tone.
I was gonna.
We're
say
getting into
something.
final words here.
Well, I was just
No. We always go with our guest first.
I wasn't getting into final words yet. I was just hyping up.
You were.
Oh, boo. I was just hyping up the year.
No,
Dude,
this guy.
oh my God.
Save it for your final words. Save it for your final words. Because I'm going to be that guy that cuts you off to make sure that Matt Buddy, our guest, gets to do his final words. Matt Buddy, what do you got for us? Anything you want? Go.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate you guys having me on as always. I need to come up with some catchy tagline that I say when I'm on here, or some sign off or some shit. I'm gonna think some shit up in my kitchen over here, and then I'll get back to you guys. But maybe I'll do a rap next time, because I've been working on some raps and shit when I'm just a little bit.
I can already see the emails coming in. Matt Buddy's mixtape.
Yeah, I'll give you.
We'll debut it.
Yeah. No, sometimes I just get in a rhythm listening to something, and I start I just get into it in that zone.
Download some instrumentals and go at it.
Yeah. But no, it was a pleasure being on. Yeah, Mark and I had an awesome weekend this last weekend, and that was a much needed getaway. It was what was it, low 80s down there, high up in the mountains and stuff, and just couldn't ask for a better situation there. We just rolled up into some random campground and pitched a tent, and Mark was like, when the fuck does that happen?
It doesn't.
Because shit's all booked up,
Unless you're in Lingle.
Yeah, that's.
But no, yeah, right now to the viewers, it's a good time to get out in nature. It's the heart of summer. Get out while you can. Enjoy all these national parks and our public lands, and do your research. And yeah, you can see some pretty amazing things when you get out there.
Love it. I love it. All right, Zach, now you can do your final words.
Whatever, guys. It's I was just gonna say I'm excited for the year to come, the adventures to come, the snow, the fun winter adventures we have planned, the fun summer adventures we have planned. Me and Matt in a couple weeks from when this podcast comes out, or while this podcast comes out, or a week after. Just watch the social medias if you want to keep up to date on what we're doing. That's where you're going to see it. And we're going to go. We're going to take a boat to Sealy Lake, and we're going to put a boat on Sealy Lake. So the adventure of Matt and Zach continues. Probably have a podcast episode to talk about that. I know Matt has some things planned coming forward. You're doing a big trip with your family, so we're going to definitely have to have you back on to maybe talk about all that fun stuff you got planned coming in the next month.
Yeah, I'm not going to reveal the names of the parks, but I'm going to be going to 2 new national parks. So we'll let the viewers try to guess which ones those are.
Hey, Lakota Thunder 82, follow him on Instagram. You'll probably see the pictures before we will, because he doesn't share that kind of stuff with us via phone.
I'm not a social media person, guys.
I mean, you could just share the photos with your friends and be like, look, here's where I'm at. But it is what it is. But I'm excited. Art fans, I'm happy that we got wanderers, man. People are out there, they're listening to us, they're picking up litter, they're practicing what we're preaching, we're doing great things, we're having fun, and we're seeing some cool places, we're seeing cool shit in nature, and we got another year of it planned. Hopefully we get to do some international traveling this year. That's something we definitely want to really get into. We'll see what the COVID gods have in store come 2022, but until then, man, to another 52 more.
There we go. I love it. Reverend's final words of the year of wandering. Stay beautiful, everybody. Gosh, I cannot tell you how thankful I am for all of our wanderers. That if you listen day one, let us know, because you deserve some sort of swag pack or something.
They needed to be on the episode. No.
Yeah, you deserve something. But people, we got along the train. Can't thank you enough. I really can't thank every single. If I could, I'd thank every single one of the Wanderers for listening. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Matt, buddy, thank you for coming on today, sharing the special day with us. It was a treat. It's always a treat when it is with you. You and all of our other guests that we had on this year. Thank you guys all so much for coming on. Hopefully we can have some of you guys back. I can't think of enough people to thank, but just go out there, be beautiful, do something nice, pick up some trash, say I love you to someone. Just be the best you can be. That being said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.